Yo, 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 and welcome back to Creeps and Crimes
Podcast.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Morgan. Happy Thursday and happy birthday to the crimey queen.
To me. Oh my God.
196
on 26 on 196.
Wait, back up. 26.
26
on
196
on 27.
Next year.
Next year.
Next year is going to be my golden year.
Oh.
We got to do something big.
Yeah, we're going to go on a trip. Whatever.
I guess we're going to have to go on a trip.
Say less.
Bless.
So how are you feeling now that you're over a quarter of your life?
Feel really good about it. I'm praying that the
Entering
acne goes away.
Entering your quarter life crisis.
that was last year. Now we're good. Now everything's happy.
Oh, you're right.
Everything's
Wait,
chill.
you're already a year over your quarter life.
Yeah, quarter life's what were last year for us,
25.
and it fucking delivered.
Yeah, she sure did.
She delivered. If you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, you can see that we have, which I think we're like nearing the end of our Spotify video. So if you guys love
R.I.P.
eat it all up. We're nearing the end of it, and we're so sad about it. But you guys, we have a cake. You can see it. It's a coconut cream cake with a beautiful 26 on it. And we have special
26.
drinks that Miss Morgy picked out. Tell them what it's got in it.
It has raspberry, lime, metal raspberry, mint leaves, gin, and tonic water, and lime juice.
It's good as hell.
There is a branch in mine.
Oh, my bad. That's my bad, man. I did rip them out of the garden.
And there's a full tree in there.
Pull in there.
A full tree in there.
A full tree.
So tell us, are you going to dinner tonight?
We're thinking about it. Oh,
you guys should go to the Kennedy.
I think he has reservations there because I told him, I was like, yeah, we can just, like grill out and we'll just sit in the backyard and chill.
Kennedy.
And he's like, well, I already have plans. And I'm like, well, you can't have plans. You have to tell me the plans.
Well, yeah.
Because what am I going to wear? You know, like, what do I need to wear? What do I need to prepare for? Yeah, what do I need to go buy with your card because it's my birthday? Like, what is that?
And no declining.
I did, and I also had, he like told me there were no plans. I could do whatever I want. So I invited our neighbors over because Morgan's going to be out of town. But it's okay because we're doing like a big birthday bash for every birthday that we've ever missed from all of our friend group in the first half of the year in a few weeks. And it's going to be really fun. So I invited our neighbors. I was like, hey, it's my birthday. You guys want to come over? We can just have dinner and drinks. Like, we can cook it here.
Wally.
Yeah. And then Logan was like, actually, I made plans. And I'm like, okay, well, I invited people because we didn't have fucking plans. So like, you're going to have to include everyone in the plans now. Yeah. So he's trying to figure that out. But I don't know what I told him. I was like, why don't you just call Jacob?
Well,
and since he wants to surprise me, and I'm like, you work it out.
If that's the case, you can always do one or the other on Friday.
Yeah, that's
not a big deal.
That's what I said too. Actually, no, because I'm leaving on Friday. I'm going to go down to Cleveland.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm going to go have dinner with my grandmas for my birthday.
Did they decide on a place? Aubrey's.
Yeah,
I knew it.
You already know. Well, I told them, they were like, well, we don't want to go to Aubrey's. It's the only place we ever. It's the only place in Cleveland. What are you talking about?
There's no other option.
You want to go to Outback? Like, where do you want to go? Like, what's the other option we got going on here?
Yeah, so, Aubrey's is it.
Aubrey's is the only option. And then we're going to also go visit Logan's sister and her fiance.
Wait, yeah, I heard you say that they had a new...
They're going out to Kentucky now for their
I heard that over the
travel
phone.
agent
I don't know
gig.
When. You were talking and walking, I think. Maybe last recording. To your mom, maybe.
Yeah. That's so good. They were like, they're doing 3 months in Kentucky for their...
At least they'll be closer.
Yeah, that's
especially
really nice.
She's got big wedding
The
plans.
wedding coming up. So it's going to work out perfect too because they'll be done July, August, September. They'll be back right and we'll have the last month leading up to the wedding to be able to do everything. Also, guys, so the first surprise that I gave you for my birthday week was that you got the part 2 early released for Patreon, like fucking early.
Yeah.
You guys got
I'm
it on.
So proud of you.
Friday.
I didn't even know it went out. And then I saw people commenting and they were like, oh my God. Like,
I can't believe
people
it's
are
out.
posting. And I was like,
yep.
My girl.
Mm-hmm. I got it out so quick. And then I did.
Such a good case.
I put it out. I was going to put it out today, Tuesday, for public. And I ended up putting it out yesterday at noon.
Yeah.
Just because I was tired of holding on to it. I knew if I let it go any further, I'd forget about it.
It'd be going out Wednesday.
Yeah, I was going to be forgetting about it. So then I just went ahead and put that out. And that's your first gift. And then the second gift from us to you for my birthday is actually technically from Susan.
Oh. God send angel.
And that is that she's going to give us a special code that will get you an additional like amount off of your readings with her. And it's only going to be valid if you book and with the code from June 27th. So today that you're listening to this on my birthday, June 27th, 2024 to August 1st, 2024.
After that, code is invalid.
Yep. Code is completely invalid. And the code we decided on is
ITGIRL.
ITGIRL.
It's the It Girl. Because
It Girl.
what is Susan? The fucking It Girl.
The fucking It Girl. All caps, It Girl. Text it to her whenever you want to book. Her stuff is going to be down below in the description. And she also wanted me to let you guys know that the only way to book with her is if you text her number, because emails and DMs, they get lost and she's unable to do it like that unless maybe like you can't reach out because maybe you're international or whatever the reason may be. And if that is the case, she does have a link to, I think she has the link to her Square website on her social media.
But she's still working out the kinks on that. So
yeah,
preferably
we're still
text.
working out the kinks with that. So they would prefer to be able to book it themselves. Eventually it'll be where you can book it for your, and do all that. So I think she's let a few people do it and then they had to scale back for a second because there is like some issues and kinks that are going on with it. But either way, from now until August 1st, 2024, you can use the code ITGIRL, It Girl, and she will give you an additional mystery % off in honor of my birthday.
Oh, so sweet.
So sweet. So make sure you get on that because, guys, I mean, once the spots are booked from June to...
Like, I guarantee you by August 1st, Susan will be booked out probably till February.
Yeah, like it's going to be a big deal.
If not longer.
So I would jump on it the faster the better. Text her that code. In addition, say, I heard about you from Creeps and Crimes. They told me to give you the code ITGIRL, It Girl, because you're the It Girl fucking Susan. We love you. And I want to get my percentage with the additional mystery % off and get a rating with you, my love. And this is if you're also a recurring employee. If you're
an employee of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so recurring. So we also need to book with Susan because we're haunted.
We're fucking haunted.
That's
and
fun.
We told Patreon about it, but long story short, I was here by myself in the middle of the night and I started hearing me and Morgan talking. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's
What's
12:30.
going on?
Morgan went home 2 hours ago. That's fucking crazy. And so I walk upstairs and my computer is completely turned off. My door to my bedroom is shut. To the office is shut. All cats were with me. The fucking computer is playing an episode. Not even the episode we recorded that night. An old episode. And it was beyond not okay. And then like two nights later, I heard my chair up here rolling around. And when I came back, it was moved from where I put it. So.
And we were haunted through our AirPods.
And then we were also haunted through our AirPods because we have a crossover that we did. We were on.
Should be coming out next week.
Yeah, I think they said July 2nd, but I don't know if we're allowed to say if they said anything about it. But you guys be looking on our socials in the beginning of July, and we'll be able to market that because we're really excited. It was a good episode.
It was good. Haunting, but good.
We literally got haunted, but
100%.
So good.
So, do you want to tell them what we're doing today?
Yeah, so today you guys know us. We're like, oh, let's do something fun and not sad. We ended up doing sad things either way, but
all sad,
all
terrible, horrific. Let's tell them what we're doing and then let's eat the cake.
Yeah, so we're going to basically also tell me what you're the CEO of.
Oh, I am the CEO of Decisions. I decided on the drink.
Oh, okay, I'm like, okay.
I decided on what we're doing today.
You did.
That's 2 for 2 for me.
That is 2 for 2. That is 2 for 2.
So I'm the CEO of Decisions because that shit don't happen. And I'm also the CEO of Hormones.
Of hormones.
I'm a raging bitch. Sorry.
Yeah, that IUD came out. That's the last they heard from you. Was that your No, it's not. Is it?
I don't think they even heard that.
No, they did because we were rushing through the last episode, part 1.
Yeah, IUD's out. I'm officially birth control free since the 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in 13 years, and I am a hormonal,
feeling it,
crazy fucking mean bitch right now. So bear with
steer clear,
steer fucking clear, all right. But I did make some decisions too.
Yeah,
that drink
in
particular,
and I am the CEO of being haunted, I guess, on my birthday.
Yeah. Oh my god, fucking June.
Yeah, June. Damn, dude, I love
not
you so
supposed
much.
To be born in June.
It's my. Well, I wasn't.
Were you early?
Yeah, I was 2 weeks early. I was supposed to be.
Well,
born
that
in July.
explains it.
Yeah, it's just rejecting me. It's
Yeah.
really sad because I
June
love
just-
June. I think June is like the most beautiful month. I think the most beautiful flowers bloom in June. I
Yeah.
think that being a June baby is
Garden.
such an honor. Like, I love being a June baby.
Yeah.
And I love the month of June. It means summer. It means that we're out of school. It means we're having a great fucking time. No, it doesn't love me back.
It
And
used
it's so
to when we
sad.
were kids,
It
though.
did, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and redirect it. This, to be honest, this June has been a lot easier
pretty
on
good.
us than any other June has.
Yeah.
And
Which means it's coming.
I'm gonna go ahead and just predict that June next year on my golden year is not gonna fuck with us.
No, I agree.
Yeah, it's
June's
not
gonna be great.
She's not
We're
going to
soar.
Be
Through the
numero uno.
clouds.
Yeah, be best
The
time
golden
ever.
clouds.
Golden clouds. Anyways, we're gonna eat this cake, but we're gonna do the fun way where it's like it's a coconut cream cake from Fresh
We're really
Market.
hoping it has coconut cream
Inside. Oh my god. Okay, let
It's
me
covered
take
in
a chug.
coconut flakes right
Wait,
now.
let's cheers and take a chug.
Okay.
All right.
To 26.
To 26.
Little birthday girl.
She'll go get Red Bull vodkas and chug them like we did that one time. I'm gonna put mine back here.
Okay, good.
But we're gonna do the wine glass little thing. We like stick it down in it like it's gender reveal.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm really excited.
Are we ready? What are we having? A boy or a girl?
Are we having a boy or girl
Are
or
you
an
going?
angel?
Should I go this way?
We'll go right here so they can see it.
Or wait, are you like fully in circled or are you a little out of the edge?
Oh, I guess I should be a little out on the edge.
Okay.
So there's room for it.
And
Go. Oh, damn! This is messy. How do you?
Now what?
Okay.
There's coconut cream!
Oh my god! Wait, I have to lick this off the side. Oh my god!
Oh, fuck yes.
Morgan, I'm so excited to try a bite of this. Let me put my mic down so I can get a bite.
Same.
And then we'll get creepy. A coffee with this would be banger.
That was bussin'.
That was more than I could ever ask for. Okay, guys, hit them with it.
If you're driving, wait, we haven't told them what we're doing today.
What are we doing? Oh, yeah, we never told you guys. What we're going to do today is we're going to do old Hollywood scandals, or what did we say we're going to call it?
I guess kind of like the dark history, but
yeah.
not really. It's like twisted, like
The dark and
secrets,
twisted
old
side.
Hollywood secrets,
That's what you said.
scandals.
The dark
that
secret
you don't
scandals
know
of old
about.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah. This shit's
Sad.
sad
All
as
right.
fuck and weird. Okay. Hit them with it.
If you're driving, throw that shit on cruise control.
If you got a glass, pour that shit up with cake.
And let's get creepy, birthday queen.
Okay, guys, before we get into these old Hollywood scandal, dark history, secret scandal, dramas, bad things,
Sad things.
very sad things, I wanted to brag for a little bit because when I was in the shower the other night,
Ooh.
I was washing my
Tell me
hair with my pros because I just got a new scalp mask scrub. Oh my God. So
Heavenly.
good. And for the first time in a little bit, I just kind of was really like taking in my hair while I was doing it. It was so low on my back. My hair is so long. And I didn't realize how
longer
long
than
it was.
mine?
No, it's like yours is way still longer than mine. Mine's not to my nipples yet.
Okay.
It sits right above the North Star on my nipple.
I feel like we're at the same length right now.
We're definitely not.
Well,
we're definitely not.
We could get there.
But I do have dysmorphia of thinking that it's way longer than it is, and you think yours is way shorter than it is
It
because
is
you
really
did cut a lot
short.
off. Yeah,
It's really
it's short for you, but it's glowing. Our hair looks so healthy. It looks so natural.
I
haven't
mean, look
put
at these
heat.
ends.
Yeah, look at that. Looks so healthy, so freaking cute. And then I haven't even put heat on my hair because it's been so good in the last 3
Yeah.
weeks. Like
my hair is noticeably shinier, healthier. It looks all around like I just walk out of the salon every day.
Right. And we all know that having your hair being at the top of its game just really plays a big role in your mood, because if your hair looks on point, guess what? Your mood's going to be on point. You're going to feel like every outfit that you try on is the best outfit you've ever tried on in your life because your hair looks great.
Ever since we switched to pros, we have noticed so many benefits. Healthier hair and skin. Yes, we are having a little hormonal outbreak right now, but that's hormones, baby.
That's hormones, baby.
That's being a woman. But beyond that, too, Pros is made for people, not hair and skin types. Personalization is rooted in everything they do, from their in-depth consultation to their made-to-order model. I mean, you really feel like the ITGIRL when you're taking the test.
You truly do feel like the ITGRL. Like you care so much that you're going to make this
Like
just
me?
for me? Is this for me
Just
and
for
my
me?
zip code? Like, oh my
Say
God.
less.
So sweet. From millions of possible formulas, only one is uniquely yours or mine.
Prose isn't just better for you, it's better for the planet. They're a certified B Corp cruelty-free and the first and only carbon-neutral custom beauty brand.
And they even have the review and refine tool, which learns from your feedback and adjusts your formula to keep up with the changing of seasons, the changing of life, the changing of waters. When we moved, we've said it a million times. But guess what? My hair in the summer is so much more oily than it is in the winter because I'm an oily girl, so I'm sweating a lot more, and I'm got the night sweats, girl. And so normally, like in the summer, I can't wash my hair every 3 days like I'd prefer.
Right.
I have to wash it like every other night because it gets so nasty and smelly.
See, and for me, I feel the exact opposite. I'm dehydrated. I don't drink enough water in the summer, so my hair is real like brittle and dry.
Exactly, and that's why
with Prose,
it's
I'm
perfect.
year-round shiny and healthy,
It
baby.
is uniquely yours.
Prose is so confident that you'll bring out your best hair and skin that they're offering an exclusive trial offer of 50% off. That's 50 your subscription order at prose.com/CAC besties.
So get your free consultation and then 50% off at prose.com/CAC besties. That's prose.com/CAC besties.
Love you, Prose.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Well, you're going first today, Morgan.
I'm going first. I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to be discussing Miss Clara Bow.
Okay.
Clara Gordon Bow was born on July 29th, 1905 in Brooklyn, New York. And I think it's Bow just from the song because, yes, this is Clara Bow. Bow sounds more right. It's spelled like bow, but bow and bow are
bow
spelled
like a
the same.
fish. I mean, fish, a boat.
Bow, a bow, a bow,
Bow, bow. Yeah.
So yes, this is the Clara Bow from Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department album. It's one of her latest songs, latest albums. And yes, I do think that I'm a Swiftie now. I think.
Oh, no.
I think I am.
You've gone.
I've gone. That's how this came across my For You page.
Yeah.
Because everything about my For You page is about Taylor Swift.
All
So,
the non-Swifties, we've lost one.
yeah, here I am.
I'm not a non-Swiftie. Trust me. Like, I'm not. It's just I'm not going to be staying up until midnight.
I think I would.
Yeah, I think you. No, you wouldn't. You'd
Dude,
fall
I know
asleep.
every word to every song on the new album.
Yeah, I know, but you're not going to stay up till midnight and go find all the clues. You don't give a fucking.
You're right, but if it comes across, if someone else does the work, I am going to watch it.
Well, I do watch those too, just because I'm interested.
Yeah.
I love her marketing that she
Yeah,
does.
it's
That's
fucking
fucking
genius.
iconic. Yeah.
So Clara, her mother, Sarah Frances Bow, and her father, Robert Walter Bow, were living in a very like minimally furnished room above this dilapidated Baptist church. Her dad job hopped and couldn't really seem to maintain one single job, resulting in the family to have very little money. Her mother, when she was 16 years old, fell from a second-story window and suffered a severe head injury.
Oh my God.
She was later diagnosed with psychosis due to epilepsy. Since Clara could remember, she took care of her mother during her seizures as well as how to deal with her psychotic and hostile episodes. It was not a good environment for a child to be raised, and Clara was taking the brunt end of it. She said her mother would, quote, be mean to me, and she often was, but she didn't mean to be, and that it was because she just couldn't help it. So she had pity on her in her diagnosis. But still, as a child, Clara felt robbed. She took care of her mother, and her mother didn't take care of her. Clara was actually Sarah and Robert's third baby, but they unfortunately lost the first two during infancy. Sarah was told by a doctor not to become pregnant again for fear that the next baby might die as well, and it would send her down an episode.
Oh God.
Despite the warning, Sarah became pregnant with Clara in late 1904. And in addition to an already very risky pregnancy, there was a heat wave that ran through New York in July of 1905 where the temperatures peaked around 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jeez.
Now again, this is 1905.
That's unheard
There's
of.
no AC
Yeah.
at all.
No.
Roasting.
And think about how disgusting New York was.
Yeah, so her entrance into this world was already pretty traumatic for Clara. She wrote, quote, "I don't suppose two people ever looked death in the face more clearly than my mother and I the morning I was born. We were both given up, but somehow we struggled back to life." Growing up, Clara was one of the boys, and this was because she was pushed out by the other girls for her carrot top hair. She was a ginger. And she never had money for new clothes, hardly any money for food, and she was bullied for her economic status and the clothes that she did have on her back.
No.
Her mother didn't really care much of her appearance, so she would cut her hair super short, which only aided the bullying from her female classmates calling her a boy. But Clara liked being a tomboy because the boys, well, they were nice to her and she just adored them. She said, quote, and now I don't know what this means, but this must be early 1900s talk.
Okay.
I could lick any boy my size.
Oh.
My right arm was quite famous because my right arm was developed from pitching so much. Once I hopped a ride on behind a big fire engine, and I got a lot of credit from the gang for that. And the gang is like her little group of guy friends.
Okay, she could lick, like she could throw a punch.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
It just
I was like, she could lick them? Like,
why are you licking them, Clara?
oh my
Sit
God, why are
down,
you
babe.
licking them?
During childhood, Clara was at home when she heard the screams of a child that lived next door. This was the home of one of her best guy friends.
No.
She ran into his house to see him burning to death on fire. She placed him on the rug and rolled up the carpet to try to put the flames out of her very best friend. But she watched as her best friend died in her arms.
What?
Traumatic.
What happened?
I have no idea why he was on fire. No one knows.
What the literal fuck?
Just him on fire.
Not the house, because she rolled him up in the blanket.
Right.
Oh my God.
And she could hear him screaming from next door.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Talk about traumatic.
No, that's traumatic.
In 1919, she was enrolled in Bay Ridge High School for girls, and she said that she would wear sweaters and old skirts because she didn't really want to be treated like a girl. So she was very modest and dressed modestly. That's the correct word, right?
Yeah, modest, yeah.
Okay. Her mother had a really long spell of good health during this time, and she actually changed Clara's appearance, and she would cut her hair a little more femininely and like spend a little bit more time in getting her ready for school. And as Clara started to mature, she realized in her own words, not mine, that being a boy in her gang was impossible. She didn't have any girlfriends. School was intolerable and a heartache from the lack of friends, and her home life was miserable. So she resorted to movies and more movies. And movies then were films, silent films, silver screens is what they were called.
Yeah.
She said watching the screens that, quote, for the first time in my life, I knew there was beauty in the world. For the first time, I saw distant lands, serene, lovely homes, romance, nobility, glamour. I always had a queer feeling. You know they said that back then. I always had a queer feeling about actors and actresses on the screen. I knew I would have done it differently. I couldn't analyze it, but I could always feel it. I'd go home and I'd be a one-girl circus, taking the parts of everyone that I'd seen, living them before the glass.
Me.
So she was living through these movies. It was the only sense of like,
she's like, I could do that fucking better. Like, I know I could do this.
But
I'm
also,
capable.
Exactly, I could do it better than them.
Yeah.
I know I could. At 16 years old, Clara says she knew she wanted to be a motion picture actress, even if she was a, quote, what she called herself, square, awkward, funny face kid.
And to think that that's what she thought about herself and all knowing what she looks like. Like,
right.
Wow.
Right. In the fall of 1921, Clara entered the Fame and Fortune contest, which was an acting contest put on by a magazine. And her father pushed her towards this and actually supported her, while her mother was absolutely against it. Winner of this contest usually landed a big film gig. Like you're the new ITGIRL. You're the new It Girl. They were impressed during her contest, stating that Clara looked like she took on and lived this role.
Wow.
In the January issues 1922 of Motion Picture Classic, the jury, which was Howard Christie, Nisa McMine, and Harrison Fisher, said about Clara, she is very young, only 16, but she is full of confidence, determination, and ambition. She is endowed with a mentality far beyond her years. She has a genuine spark of divine fire. The 5 different screen tests she had showed this very plainly, her emotional range of expression provoking a fine enthusiasm from every contest judge who saw the test. She screens perfectly. Her personal appearance is almost enough to carry her to success without the aid of the brains she indubitably possesses. She won the contest and she dropped out of school.
Fuck yeah, she did.
They fucking loved her. They ate her up. But the movie gig that was promised came up empty-handed. They didn't offer her anything after winning. It's like, here's your contest, but like not at this time. We don't really have.
What the fuck?
We don't really have anything for you right now.
Okay.
And her father pressured her to get back down there and haunt the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
And if they want to act like that, then go pressure them.
Yeah.
Go door to door, find any agent that you can and get your role because you deserve it. They promised you that, and
that's what they were supposed to give you. You won this contest. You go fucking get it.
And this worked. She was introduced to director Chrissy Cabane, who cast her in Beyond the Rainbow, which was produced late 1921 in New York City and was released February 19th, 1922. In this film, she did 5 scenes, and she impressed the director so much because she was able to produce tears on call.
Wow.
Which nobody could do then.
Yeah, that's iconic.
But her scenes were cut from the final print.
For
no
what?
one told her. Clara was destroyed, thinking, maybe my mom was right about this thing the entire time. I shouldn't have listened to my dad. I should have stayed in school. And also during this time, things weren't really going well with her mom. Because when Clara was 17 years old, after all of this, she woke up to her mother over top of her while she laid in bed, holding a butcher knife to Clara's throat.
I'm sorry, what?
Saying that she would be better off dead than be a movie star. They got into an altercation, obviously, and Clara came through unharmed, and Sarah was then admitted to an institution by her husband, Robert.
Yeah, immediately.
And you would think that these events that transpired on your daughter would cause her father to get his act together. He needed to now care for his daughter, but he was even worse. He was a monster. He was all Clara had, but shortly after Sarah was committed, trigger warning, he raped his own daughter.
No, Morgan, no.
Clara was subjected to repeated sexual assault by her own father. She was in hell. In 1923, her mother died from epilepsy. And Clara was actually destroyed because while her mother was having episodes, she still did care for Clara.
Yeah.
She was so upset at her funeral that she tried to jump in the grave and was shouting at all of her aunts, uncles, dad, saying, quote, "You didn't care or love my mother when she was alive," like calling them hypocrites.
Oh my God.
She was destroyed by the death of her mother. Her mother is gone and her father was a monster. So she continued pursuing acting. She went door to door searching for any opportunity that would possibly land. And she says, but there was always something. Quote, "I was too young or too little or too fat." Usually I was too fat. Like I want to just like rip people out with their hair. I want to go back in time and just be like, sucker punch.
Yeah, literally. Lick them right in the face.
Lick them.
Lick them.
Literally. But eventually her hard work paid off. Director Elmer Clifton needed a tomboy for his picture Down to the Sea in Ships, and he casted Clara, offering her $30 a week. Well, Clara's like, $30 a week isn't going to work for me. I'm going to hold out until you give me $50 a week.
Hell yeah, bitch.
And he did. He met her demands, and off she went to shoot. The movie was shot on location in Massachusetts, relying on less well-known actors, so majority of it, no one knew. It was like kind of like a shot in the dark kind of film.
Yeah.
Like
That's like $500.
That's a lot of money
in today's
for a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's getting like $500 a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good for her.
Good for her.
It premiered in 1922 and Clara's performance shone through. In every review, Clara was mentioned. In one, quote, "Miss Bow will undoubtedly gain fame as a screen commodity. I don't know that word. And others saying, quote, "With her beauty, her brains, her personality, and her genuine acting ability, it should not be many moons before she enjoys stardom in the fullest sense of the word."
Wow.
And by 1924, the roles were pouring in. She left New York, her father, and her then boyfriend for Hollywood. She went to Hollywood with someone named Maxine Alton, who acted as Clara's chaperone because technically she wasn't a legal adult. Clara would later describe this person as like a liar, like can't stand her,
Ugh, okay.
Whatever.
Pick me.
But Maxine and Clara rented an apartment at the Hillview near Hollywood Boulevard. And Clara, as soon as she stepped foot in Hollywood, she immediately popped off. She starred in numerous roles, but most importantly, the film It, which is not the clown movie, but instead a silent film. And this dubbed her the nickname the It Girl in the 1920s, making her the very first ITGIRL in history. Like, that's where it comes from.
Iconic.
The It Girl. She came to personify the Roaring 20s and is described as its leading sex symbol. She was a superstar. Everyone knew Clara and everyone wanted to cast her in their films. And she was actually the inspiration to Betty Boop.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
Betty Boop was created after
That's
Clara.
crazy.
She married another actor named Rex Bell in 1931. They had 2 boys, and Clara was ready to retire from her perfect movie star life pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, she's young as fuck.
She made her money.
So she was ready to retire from her perfect movie star life until she was betrayed by her hairstylist turned secretary and alleged BFF, Daisy DeVoe.
What the fuck did Daisy do?
Daisy sold a bunch of lies to tabloids in a book called Clara's Secret Love Life, as told by Daisy.
Bold, bitch.
Bold
as fuck.
Sell it to the tabloids and then
Morgan.
create as told by Daisy.
Imagine if I said the true story of Morgan as told by Taylor. Imagine if that you would come to my house and you light it on fire.
Yeah.
And I would let you because that was fucked up in me.
Bold, but at least remain anonymous,
Bold.
Daisy.
Yeah, I would be like, it's from Lily.
So this book today sells on Amazon for $2,500. Yeah.
What?
I found one for sale on Amazon. It was $2,500 fucking dollars. So I was like, I'm gonna buy it because there's not a lot on it about what she wrote about her.
Yeah.
But
They might
I ain't paying $3,000 to
Because
find
it's some
these
horse
lies
shit. Who wants to read
from
lies
fucking
for $300?
Daisy DeVoe, who
Yeah.
clearly wanted clout.
Fucking Daisy.
As told by Daisy.
As told by Daisy with her headshot on the cover. Like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, fuck you, Daisy.
You freak.
You stupid bitch.
Fucking not a girl's girl.
Daisy accused Clara in this book. And so she sold this. Okay, so let me back up here. She sold these lies to the tabloids, to like the Hollywood Reporter or somebody like that. And they then created a book with Daisy. So it was sold off into the tabloids first, and then they published this book and sold it.
Yeah.
And probably got a lot of fucking money because Clara was the it girl.
Yeah, I mean, she was number one at the time. She could retire.
Right. The book accused Clara of multiple affairs, bestiality,
What?
claiming that she had an inappropriate and close relationship with her dog.
You're gotta be fucking with me right now.
Yeah. Drunkenness, drug use, everything that would destroy her image. and
Okay,
likeness.
affairs, drinking, drug use. The bestiality is absolutely fucking not right. Like,
Right.
you're fucking crazy, especially knowing her story.
Right.
And what happened to her.
Right. You were her hairstylist, so you got all the tea.
You know all the shit.
And then you became her assistant
Because
so
she
you probably
liked you
even
that
got
much.
more tea because
Yep.
she trusted you.
And
then you were her best friend. And as told by Daisy DeVoe, your name's fake, Daisy.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck
sorry.
you,
That's
Daisy.
not your real fucking
But
name.
also, like, okay, she had an affair. Who the fuck didn't?
Right.
Back then in Hollywood?
Really, though.
Name me one. You
Well,
can't.
Apparently, Clara didn't. She denied every claim.
Well, I'm sure, but okay, let's say that it's not
because
true.
she was only married once, and as soon as she got married, she's like, I'm done with this life.
Right.
I like this one. I got 2 little boys. I'm done.
And like, also, we know her story. Like, she probably was so thankful to have someone with her. But it's still beyond the point. Why the fuck is that such a big deal for a woman actress to do, the it girl at the time, when we all knew what the fuck the execs were doing, what the fuck all these actors were doing? Are you the directors? Fuck off.
Yeah. Daisy's a little
Wow.
skank. So
Fucking
this
rat.
book release sent Clara into a spiral in a psychotic episode.
Yeah, it would me too.
She became socially withdrawn, and she would refuse to socialize with her husband, and she also would refuse to let him leave the house alone.
Yeah.
In 1944, while her husband, who swapped to politics, so there wasn't much on that. He was an actor, and then he's like, I'm gonna
Him and
go into
Ronald Reagan.
politics.
Yeah.
He began running for the U.S. House of Reps. I think Nevada. During all of this, trigger warning, Clara had attempted suicide.
Oh.
And there was a note that was found in which Clara stated that she would prefer death to a public life. In 1949, she checked into the Institute of Living to be treated for her chronic insomnia, and apparently she had some like abdominal pains. And while at the institute, they gave her electroshock therapy.
No.
So shock treatment was tried, and as well as other numerous psychological tests that were performed. That's their nice way of saying lobotomy. Her IQ was measured to be bright normal, quote, bright normal. I don't know what that means. Bright and normal, like great IQ, I guess. While others claim she was unable to reason, had really poor judgment, and displayed inappropriate and bizarre behavior.
Yeah, if my best friend just absolutely fucking ruined my life.
And they weren't believing any of her symptoms, like the stomach pain or the headaches or the insomnia, and she was diagnosed with schizophrenia. They believed that all of her pains were delusional.
What?
Yeah. However, she experienced neither auditory or visual hallucinations. Like, she wasn't your typical symptomatic.
No, she was just
schizophrenic.
heartbroken and was done
Destroyed.
so wrong.
Right.
Like,
Humiliated
the wrongest.
publicly.
And it's like something that's so deep down in her childhood too, all the way
Yeah.
back to being bullied by all those girls in like school.
Right. Yeah, it's really fucking sad.
Oh my God.
And doctors were tying her behavior to like her manic episodes. They said they would try to convince Clara that like you're just impersonating a role you did. So Clara did a lot of like horror films, silent horror films. And they would say like, you're acting this way because you're portraying who you portrayed in this film right now. And then yesterday you were portraying this person. So they believed that they tried to explain it to her that her TV roles, her movie screen roles were coming to life, like that she was bringing them to life.
I mean, she could be like disassociating into
Right.
them because it's easier to be those people than it is to be.
Right. And she didn't want to hear any of that. She was like, no, I that's not true.
Yeah.
Like you're not here to help me. I'm just
I'm
leaving.
trying to tell you what's wrong
So
with me and you're
she
not
left.
listening.
She left the institute and she did not return back to her family. After leaving the institution, she lived alone in this bungalow out in Culver City, and she rarely left it.
Wow.
She spent her last years in Culver City under the constant care of a nurse named Estella Smith, and she was living off her estate that was worth about $500,000 at the time of her death. She had fucking money.
Damn.
And in 1965, at age 60, Clara died of a heart attack, which her autopsy attributed to atherosclerosis. I didn't look that up. But anyway, that is the tragic, traumatic, and terribly sad life of Clara Bow.
No, that's awful. That's terrible.
But she was just... it was taken away from her. It just fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, that's just awful.
Like,
By that fucking bitch named Daisy. I hope they literally... what's Daisy doing?
yeah, what's Daisy doing, right? More tabloids?
I wonder how her life was.
Did she create the Hollywood?
Because if anything, you just look like a fucking tattletale
she's
rat.
Probably the CEO was the creator of E! News or something.
Yeah, probably. Like,
Hollywood Reporter.
fucking who knows? She's gonna be the CEO of hell, I'll tell you that. Fucking burning it, bitch.
I wonder
Awful.
how many books were printed for it to be
That expensive.
$2,500 now, and no PDF copy found anywhere online.
Right. There's got to be... I bet it was like initially like big articles and then they compiled it all into the book like you said, like when it was released. But like then we'd be able to access them through news archives.
As told by Daisy DeVoe.
Disgusting. I mean, I would never be able to walk outside again if I ever did that to another woman. Like, could you imagine? Oh, could you imagine how hateful and disgusting of a human being you'd have to be?
Yeah. No, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Bye,
so
Daisy.
Sad. I love you, Clara. I'm
Love you,
sorry
Clara. You
that-
didn't deserve
I'm
that.
so glad you pushed through. And I mean, literally 16 years old, going out, getting her own gigs.
Yeah. So she's a fucking boss bitch. And she wasn't it, girl.
And all of her fucking bullies that made her life hell.
Daisy
Where you at
included.
now? I bet Daisy went to school with her.
Yeah. Fucking whore. I mean, seriously. Daisy.
Yeah.
Awful.
My arm is like literally asleep.
Wait, no, my left arm is literally asleep. I can't even, it's like cramping. It's so tired. Okay, so the next one I have for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you a trigger warning for suicide because that is technically the ruling, but like this is the mysterious death, period, of George Reeves, aka the OG Superman.
Dun, dun, dun.
Superman, born on Man of Steel. Born on January 5th, 1914 in Woolstock, Iowa, George Kiefer Brewer was the first and only son born to Donald Carl Brewer and Helen L. And he was born only 5 months into their marriage. So like very, very soon. And probably the reason that they did get married, which is why very soon after his birth, they divorced, causing Helen to have to care for her newborn George all on her own, moving around to several states to stay with relatives for a little bit before eventually being able to move to Pasadena, California so that they could live with Helen's sister, so George's aunt. By 1920, Helen met and married a man named Frank Besolo, and he would later adopt George as his own in 1927 when George was 13 years old, at which point George changed his name to George Besolo. While in high school, George fell in love with acting, singing, performing, but he also had this like burning passion and love for amateur boxing. So he would often go to the gyms to practice and compete with other amateurs like himself after a long day at school, and then he would go to workshops at the Pasadena Playhouse, which is basically like an acting school, where he was actually discovered by a casting director, signing him a contract with Warner Bros. In 1939 and then casting him in a small role in Gone with the Wind.
Pause. So the two females, my next story is a female. They all had to build up their fucking portfolio before Warner Bros. Or Paramount Pictures even looked at them. And that was his first gig.
Yeah.
Straight into Warner Bros.
Thrown in immediately.
That's crazy. I mean, years and years and hundreds of films.
Banging down doors, doing the small little things for cheap, like fucking doing what they need. Not to mention casting couches, which we'll get to in my next story, like a lot. Okay. So he has this small role in Gone with the Wind, but he's like, I think in the opening scene of it and was in it throughout as like a potential lover for the main female lead. And so he's in it a lot and he got to act a lot. And following the filming, he returned to Pasadena Playhouse where two really big things happened. Number one, he met his soon-to-be wife, Eleanora Needles, who was the great-great-granddaughter of John Robinson, who was a big circus dude, like one of the biggest circus families, like that,
which was huge then.
Big deal, yeah. And they got married on September 22nd, 1940. And then number two, he was given the lead role in a play called Poncho, which actually led to him being in a longer term contract with Warner Bros. Because that was only like a 1-term deal where he was in Gone with the Wind. And in this new contract with them, they decided to change his name to George Reeves, and I believe it was a 2-year contract. George Reeves then launched his career in film, starring in several motion pictures with Warner Bros., then 20th Century Fox, and later Paramount Pictures, which gave him a large role in the 1942 Paramount Pictures film So Proudly We Hail, which was a war drama, and it did really, really well because you have to think of like the time at this point, it's 1942. It did so well, in fact, that they extended his contract to include 2 films per year. So guaranteeing him to be in 2 films per year.
Wow.
Big fucking deal.
Yeah, that is a huge deal.
However, that did not last for long because in 1943, like probably months after signing that contract, George Reeves gets drafted and assigned to the U.S. Army Air Forces, bringing his film career to a screeching halt that was virtually impossible to start up again once he was released at the end of the war, forcing George to begin appearing in a lot of low-budget serial TV productions, which was like TV shows were not it back then.
No one had fucking TVs.
Exactly. And in 1949, or by 1949, after being married for 10 years, he and Eleanora Needles separated and divorced. In June of 1951, George Reeves was offered a role as Superman in the new TV series called Adventures of Superman, which in today's world would be absolutely fucking iconic and like such a big deal to be in a movie, like, I mean, in a show or anything that has to do with a superhero,
right?
Because you know that means like, okay, you're that superhero from fucking now on, like, and we're giving you big money, right? And
that was inconsiderate of me, but true.
True though,
for most cases,
yeah. And
or contracts do you part,
exactly, and that would be iconic today, but back then, like superhero TV shows in general were not it, because not everyone had a TV, and then you have to make sure that a channel would pick it up and all that crazy shit. But also like superhero TV shows were the lowest of lows for actors. Like you did not want to be a part of it. Now, luckily, Superman did very, very well and basically was the launching pad for the superhero shows that we know in movies and empires and universes that we know and love today, making George Reeves a very, very, very famous man. However, just because he was famous did not mean he was rich. In fact, financially, he was barely making ends meet. Unable to book any other roles and very few even advertisements, because when people looked at George Reeves, they saw Superman. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly why to death do you part in today's world, because when we look at
Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland. And even the 3 other Spider-Mans before him, guess who the fuck they are to us?
Spider-Man.
They're Spider-Mans. And then Jake Gyllenhaal. And you look at Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. And who was that? Oh, that's fucking Tony Stark.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Man.
Mark Ruffalo, he had a whole career before. So when I look at him, I think at 13 going on 30, but also the Hulk.
Right.
You know, so now he can't really make any money.
Thor is Thor also.
Yeah, exactly. This hurt his career even more. Therefore, he was forced to try his best to capitalize off of the image of Superman. But you have to remember, like, name, image, and likeness was really not a thing back then. Like, the protections that are around it that we have now. Think about it. For like even me and Morgan, we have a lot of protections over our name, image, and likeness, and we have a lot of rights over our name, image, and likeness. But back then, that wasn't even a fucking thought.
Right.
They wanted your face on something, your face is gonna be on it.
Yep.
Even if you got paid for it or agreed to it or not. So he was forced to try his best to capitalize off of the image of Superman. So he just like started booking several events, meet and greets, like showing up at premieres, even doing boxing events as Superman. Because remember, that's like his thing that he used to do on the side. And by 1959, Reeves had been in over 100 Superman episodes, which was like unheard of. It was like the longest running serial show.
Yeah, they're pushing Grace.
And he was living in Los Angeles with New York socialite Lenore Lemon. And this was his girlfriend slash fiance. Reports differ if they were like actually fiance, but they for sure were in a relationship. But it was a really big deal because she had recently, like in years before that, divorced from a Vanderbilt heir.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Now, it's Monday, June 15th, 1959, and the couple, Leonore and Reeves, leave his home where they were living at the time, which was at 1579 Benedict Canyon Drive, and they were going out for dinner and drinks, leaving behind their house guest, Robert Condon, who was writing a book on George's life, so he was living with them to observe him.
Why do I know that name?
I know it too. He's like famous. We've talked
Condon?
about Robert Condon. We've talked about him several times, and I don't know how or when or what or where.
Yeah.
Okay. Lenore and George got dinner and drinks, and then they returned home at approximately 11 p.m. They then had drinks in the like living room area with Robert Condon before George decided to go to bed at around midnight, but Lenore wanted to stay up. So when he goes upstairs to go to bed at midnight, she goes to the front door and she turns on the front porch light, indicating to anybody in the neighborhood that they were accepting guests.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, that's why I only turn it on if you're walking in or if I'm waiting you to get to your car and then I turn it off.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I sleep with mine on.
No. Morgan.
I like to see.
You got to turn it off. Then people won't come up to you because it means that you're home. Like, I'm home. You can come up to me.
Good to know.
Yeah. Turn that motherfucker off.
My mama always left that shit on. My mama.
You guys are always accepting guests.
That's why her lights burn out. That's why she needed
Yeah.
this.
That's why her lights burn out. Okay. So not long after she turns on the light, 2 neighbors, one named William Bliss and the other one named Carol Van Ronkel, stop by and come in and have drinks with Lenore and Robert in the downstairs entertainment area. Side note, it's believed or rumored that Carol and Robert were actually having an affair or like fucking around. I don't know if she was married to William Bliss. I don't know.
Okay.
Or if they were connected anyway. But at approximately 1:30 a.m., George Reeves comes back down the stairs and he's still in his like clothes from dinner, like his evening wear, trying to see who the fuck's in his house. And he was, quote, in no mood for a party, according to William, Carol, Robert, and Lenore. Not knowing who William Bliss was, as he had never met him before, he is immediately irritated when he sees him and he's like, who the fuck are you? I'm going to throw you the fuck out of my house. You creep, you stranger. Why are you in my home? Lenore and Robert are able to like calm him down and be like, this is your neighbor. Like, you've never met him before. You just stopped by with Carol or having a drink with us. It's all fucking good. Chill out.
We're all good here.
Like, it's all Gucci. George then apologizes. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just having a really bad day. I'm in a bad mood. And he's like, I'm just going to go back upstairs. I apologize. You guys enjoy. So he starts heading back up to the stairs. And Lenore, Robert, William, and Carol listen as he climbs the stairs, enter his bedroom, shut the door, open his bedside table drawer, sit down on the bed, and then within seconds of them hearing him like sit down on the bed, a gunshot is fired. this is the massive trigger warning for discussion around suicide. Now, oddly enough, the one who didn't know George, aka William Bliss, who had just gotten bitched out and threatened by him, is the one who rushed up the stairs to his room and went and checked on him. The only one. He finds 45-year-old George Reeves, now naked, which he wasn't just 5 seconds before, lying back on his blood-soaked bed with his feet over the side and touching the floor, with a single gunshot wound to his right temple. Very clearly dead. One of them calls the police, and then they all go back downstairs into the living room, and they fill up their cocktails, and they wait for the police to arrive. Just chilling, sipping cocktails.
Time for happy hour?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Right. So
There's a
when
man dead
investigators
upstairs.
from LAPD get there, they're like, what the fuck? Weird. But they find George's 9mm German Ruger lying on the ground between his feet. There was bullet casing lying underneath his body, and there was blood spatter all the way up the walls and onto the ceiling above his body, where they found the bullet lodged into the ceiling. Based on the witnesses' testimonies and the autopsy findings, his death was thought to be a suicide, with the coroner noting that the position of his body on the bed with the angle of the bullet's trajectory through his skull indicated that this was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. However, once you add in the location of the spatter, where the gun was laying, and the location of the lodged bullet in the ceiling, this theory started to get really wonky because it suggested that George Reeves would have had his head completely turned to the side between his knees when he fired the shot, not to mention what they did not find at the crime scene, such as fingerprints on the gun.
His deceased body get up and wipe them
And
off?
wipe it off. There was not a single fingerprint on this gun. He wasn't wearing gloves. He was naked.
What the fuck?
There's not a single fingerprint on this gun, not Lenore's, no one's. But most importantly, there was no gunpowder residue found on George Reeves' hands at all.
When guns like that, there's residue.
Yeah. And then investigators found something really odd. They found 2 more bullets embedded in the bedroom floor that matched the bullet and the gun that was used in that fatal shot that killed George. And it only got more suspicious when they interviewed Robert, Carol, and William separately, and they told investigators what was happening as they all listened to George climb those stairs and go back into his room. Remember how I said they could hear him go up there? Mm-hmm. Well, allegedly, Lenore narrated his death because when he turned around to go back upstairs, they were like, where's he going? And she said, he's probably going to shoot himself.
What the fuck?
And then when he shut the door to the bedroom, as he was walking over to the bedside table, she began saying, now he's walking over to the bedside table, opening up the drawer, pulling out the gun, and boom. And the single shot rang out. But let's say that maybe he did commit suicide. No one could explain how or when he stripped down naked in his bedroom and when he had the time to do this. Not to mention the fact that it's, according to specialists, it's extremely rare, if not unheard of, that someone who is intending to take their own lives via suicide would ever strip down naked knowing that they're going to be found. It's a self-preservation sort of method. And despite all of these odd circumstances, and even a close friend coming forward claiming that William Bliss admitted to them George was not up there by himself because Lenore had walked him up the stairs, she then came running back telling Robert, Carol, and William they needed to call police and that they needed to also say that she was with them the entire time and she would pay them off. And despite all of this, the LAPD ruled George Reeves' death as a suicide.
Are you kidding me?
That's it.
Are you kidding me?
Is that not fucking crazy?
Why? What did they have it? What benefit
There's allegedly
to them?
mob ties. There's but she wasn't married, so what would she get out of it?
One thing we know about the LAPD.
Dirty.
Yeah.
And they were working with Paramount, Warner Bros., all these big people.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? That's who the fuck was in control. They held all the money.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot. I could do, honestly, together we could do a big fucking, we could go on because it's connected to a lot more. Because you have to remember at this point in time in the 50s and 60s still though, but the mafia the mob was pulling strings at this time in
Dude.
Hollywood.
So she did it. But why'd she do it?
But why?
Affair.
She wouldn't get anything though. You know, like
they weren't married?
They
right?
weren't married. And here's another thing. So you know how I said that like the reports differed on like if they were actually engaged or not? Well, there was a headline that has been found that said that they did get engaged. And then there was
before the death.
Before his, like months before his death. And then there was another headline that came out like 3 months prior to his death, and I could be wrong on this timeline, and basically it said the wedding's off, and like they were planning it, and then they ended their engagement but stayed together.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there's a lot more.
That is nuts.
And also many people wonder if the reason why he came down there and got mad was because you know how Carol and Robert were hooking up.
Yeah,
maybe he walked in on them and his girlfriend was with William. And that's why he was mad. No one mentioned anything about 3 shots. And I think the way that they wrote that off was like Lenore said that like months before she was getting something out of the drawer and accidentally, I mean, think about the guns back then. There was no safeties or anything.
Right.
That she accidentally like was reaching and triggered it twice, which I don't know how you would like, though you have to fucking pull those triggers back on those like old ass guns, so you know. And it fired. She said that it accidentally fired off twice, or maybe she picked it up and dropped it and it fired twice, and that's why. But police were like, and you guys never got the bullets out of your hardwood,
right?
You just left them splintered
for the end of time.
What are you doing?
No one was worried about him,
right? It doesn't make sense that he would be bending over with his head turned completely, like because
it was in the
ceiling. It was in the ceiling right above it, but still, okay. Now, if that were, how did he fly all the way back where he's now laying on his back?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
So Joanne, or Joan Crawford, was born Lucille Fay Lesoir.
Oh, wow.
In San Antonio, Texas.
I can't believe they made her change to a stage name. That's an iconic name.
She wanted to.
Well, I guess you had Lucille Ball at the time.
Yeah, Lucille Lesoir. I love that.
Lucille Lesoir.
She had one sister, Daisy, not DeVoe.
It better not
and
be.
And one brother, Hal. Her father, Thomas, actually abandoned the family when Lucille/Joan/Joanne was only 10 months old, leaving his wife, Annabelle, alone to raise her 3 children.
Damn.
Annabelle would eventually remarry to a man named Henry Casson. They lived in Lawton, Oklahoma, where Henry ran the Ramsey Opera House, which I believe is actually haunted.
Oh.
I feel like I've heard of the Ramsey Opera House.
Yeah, I feel like I have too.
So I might have to look into that. Growing up, Lucille loved to sit in the opera house and watch the shows. From childhood, her ambition was to be a dancer. One day, she was trying to escape her piano lessons. And she leaped from the front porch of her house and she cut her foot like really badly on this broken milk bottle that was down there, glass. And it ended up that she had to have 3 surgeries to repair the damage of her foot.
Jeez.
And for 18 months, she was unable to attend elementary school or continue her dance lessons.
Oh, I would be devastated.
Yeah, that's devastating. In June of 1917, also, I didn't tell you the year she was born because everywhere it says question mark. Then at the end, it's like she claimed that she was born in this year. So I'll talk about that. But
okay.
Everywhere is like 190.
No one knows how to look at census.
7, 5, 4. They literally, it's 190 question mark. That's
190 question mark.
That's her birth year.
All right.
So in June of 1917, the family moved to Kansas City, Missouri, because her stepfather, Mr. Casson, was accused of embezzlement.
Oh.
Although it was acquitted, but he was blacklisted in Lawton County, Lawton, Oklahoma, where the opera house was.
Yeah, and you can't.
So he couldn't have a business
Being
there.
blacklisted back then was like you quite literally can't do anything.
You can't live here.
You can't be a part of it.
Yeah. After the move, Henry, the stepdad, was a devout Catholic, placed the kids, specifically Lucille, at St. Agnes Academy in Kansas City. Eventually, her mother and her stepfather would separate, and she remained at school as what they called a work student.
What? Not? Huh?
So I'm assuming this is a boarding school.
Okay.
As a work student, she spent far more time working, cooking, and cleaning than she did learning and studying and getting an education.
So it's like you pay your tuition by
working as a child.
That's child labor laws.
Yeah.
Which didn't exist back then.
No.
Damn.
You want to go to school here? Okay, start working.
Wow.
Because your stepdad
Could you
embezzled money
imagine?
from the opera house.
What the fuck?
Yeah. She later would attend Rockingham Academy also as a working student. In 1922, she registered at Stevens College in Columbia, Missouri, giving her year of birth as 1906.
Okay.
That's when she told them that that's my birthday.
Okay.
I don't know why it was a big secret, and that's the only documentation that we have of it, but it was when she enrolled into college.
She probably just lied about her age.
Yeah, or her birth certificate.
How fucking iconic is that? That she lied about her age so hard that literally
we had to go to the college.
Today we're
to
literally like, we don't even know.
Like, go pull the records
Right.
from Stevens College in
Yeah.
Missouri and figure out when she was born. She attended Stevens for a few months, and then she realized that she was not ready for college, so she withdrew. Her family at this time was super unstable, and her school never really surpassed the primary level, according to her teachers and her educators, partly because, well, she was a working student. She
Right.
missed 18 months. That's a year and a half of elementary school, then was thrown into a school where she worked, and then thrown into another school where she worked, and then enrolled into college.
Right.
Like, she just wasn't ready. On June 3rd, 1929, she met a man named Douglas Fairbanks Jr. at St. Malachi's Roman Catholic Church, and this is known as the Actors Chapel in Manhattan because it's really close to the Broadway theaters.
Okay.
And they eloped, although neither of them actually were Catholic, so she left the Catholic faith.
Okay.
Douglas was the son of Douglas Fairbanks Sr. and the stepson of Mary Pickford, who were considered Hollywood royalty. They were a big fucking deal, the Fairbanks and the Pickfords. And his parents were not keen to their relationship at all. They were opposed to their marriage and how quickly it happened, and therefore did not invite Lucille or Douglas to their home for about 8 months after their marriage. Like, they just didn't talk to them for 8 months, wouldn't let them in their house. But the relationship between Lucille and her in-laws eventually got better.
Okay, good.
Although it didn't matter because they divorced in 1933, with Lucille stating that it was, quote, grievous mental cruelty being married to him.
Oh my God.
In 1935, she married a stage actor named Franchot Tone, I think.
Okay.
Franchot Tone, maybe. Franchot, maybe. She spent hours and hours working on her husband's image, trying to promote a Hollywood career for him. He wasn't interested in being a big actor, but she was like pushing it and doing everything in her power, making any sort of connection that she had from the Pickfords and the Fairbanks. Like, she was networking the fuck out of her husband, and he wasn't having it. The two of them had tried for children, but had 2 miscarriages, and he allegedly was this raging alcoholic. He was very abusive, so they divorced pretty quickly about 4 years later in 1939. This is when Lucille adopted her first child, a daughter, in June of 1940, and because she was single, so she goes out to California. Because she was single, California law had prevented her from adopting within the state, so she had to arrange the adoption through an agency in Las Vegas. Temporarily, she named this child Joan at first, or Joanne.
Okay.
And then she decided that she actually wanted her name to be Christina.
Okay.
Christina's birth mother was a 19-year-old girl who had a child out of wedlock and had moved to Los Angeles with her family. And then this is when the mother contacted what they called a baby broker for Lucille to adopt her baby after its birth. So Lucille is now single, raising a baby girl, Christina. Lucille then met actor Philip Terry in June of 1942 through her agent Harry Mines, and Harry asked if he could bring Terry along for a dinner at her house. Quickly, on July 21st, 1942, so a month later, the couple married 10 minutes after midnight at the home of their lawyer, Neil McCarthy, which, is that not a singer? Paul McCarthy.
Paul McCartney.
McCartney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beatles.
I'm like, Neil McCarthy, that's definitely a singer.
Jesse McCartney.
And this was only a month after their first date. That
was so common during
It
the
really
wartime, like, because you'd be like, I might not ever see you again. Might as well get married.
Might as well get married. What
Yeah.
else do we have to do? Although she was like a rising star.
Yeah. Meanwhile, she's literally working her dick off.
Yeah. While married to Philip Terry, the couple adopted a son who they named Christopher, but his birth mother learned the child had been adopted by this celebrity couple and had attempted to blackmail Lucille for money, which resulted in her giving the child back to his mother.
Wow.
Who in turn then placed Christopher back up for adoption.
Listen, I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the podcast. I think I've mentioned it in passing, but my dad was adopted at age 5 by my grandparents. They're my adopted grandparents, but to me, they are my grandparents, my nana, my pop. And his mom did some fuck shit like that. his biological mother. And I don't even want to call her a fucking mother. Just this biological
woman.
Egg donor. Yeah. And she's still alive today. Still tries to get in contact with my dad and manipulate him to speak with her and us. And we will never fucking do. And that is the most fucked up shit. You do not care about the health of your child and the well-being of your child.
Right.
Because giving up a child for adoption is one of the most selfless things that a person can do. And yet she's doing it in the most selfish way fucking possible. It is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, like,
and it's so sad for the child.
Then.
It does nothing.
You don't give me money and then, I'm just going to put him up for adoption.
And like, by the way, what the fuck? Like, what do you care? You just want money.
Right.
Wow. Sorry for that side rant.
That's all right. They then adopted another boy who they named Philip Terry Jr. On December 16th, 1945, they separated, and 3 months later, she filed for divorce on grounds of cruelty. Okay, apparently he was not a good guy. So by April 25th, they were legally divorced. In 1947, she adopted 2 fraternal twin daughters and named them Kathy and Cynthia, or Cindy. They were born prematurely on January 13th, 1947, and they had to stay in the hospital for several weeks for supervision. Kathy and Cynthia are the only children that were adopted from the Tennessee Children's Home Society, which we will get into that eventually, hopefully sometime soon, because I really do want to cover
I
it.
actually have like base notes on it because I
Really?
started researching it a long time ago, and I was like, I can't do this on my own. This is gonna be
So that's where Kathy and Cynthia are from. And I do want to mention here that allegedly their birth mother was ill and died less than weeks after the twins were born due to kidney failure, and that their biological father abandoned the mother during birth. So it was the mother, like, on her deathbed that made these arrangements before Kathy and Cindy were even born, because she was like going into failure. And it was not
That's
good.
so
That's why
sad.
they were born premature.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is the story behind those kids from the Tennessee Children's Home Society out of Memphis, Tennessee. It's really fucked up, actually.
We'll do it probably
deep dive.
soon, just because now it's both fresh on our minds. Yeah.
Lucille then married her 4th and final husband, Alfred Steele, at the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas on May 10th, 1955, which is where...
Iconic.
Yeah, Flamingo Hotel.
We know a lot about the Flamingo
We know
Hotel.
a lot about the bushes outside the Flamingo Hotel.
We know a lot about the trackers around the Flamingo Hotel.
That's right. Just hanging out by
Just
those
hanging out
benches.
by the fucking Flamingo Hotel.
You know, it's still a thing in 55 and still rocking
It's
today.
still
in
rocking
2024.
today.
Almost 80 years.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
wow.
Wow.
She and Alfred had met at a party in 1954, and he was a big fucking deal because he was the president of Pepsi Cola. Big money ballin' bitch.
Oh my God. I'm sorry to interject again. I have a fun fact that I literally never knew. It blew my mind. And now I have to educate everybody else on it.
About Pepsi?
About Pepsi. So the way that this started was that there was like this little trend where people were saying like, oh, are you a Pepsi girl or are you a Coke girl? Someone realized that the majority of white people said that they preferred Coke over Pepsi. And the majority of black people said that they preferred Pepsi over Coke. This woman came on and was like, what is that? Like, what is the story behind that? There's got to be something. Turns out that Pepsi Cola Company was one of the very first companies in history to market not only towards the African American black community and culture, but to put black individuals, black families on ads.
Wow.
And run ads, which was unheard of black families. And it was unheard of. It was a big deal. And so then
Good for them.
good for them, right?
Good for Alfred Steele.
And isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I mean, I literally I know so many fun facts about like marketing and advertising. I never once had ever learned that in all of my advertising and marketing classes that I ever took.
And then all of our grandmothers love it because it wasn't cocaine.
Well, my family loved RC.
Oh, my grandmother is a strict Pepsi woman. We
RC
had to
was
have
just
liters
cheap.
of Pepsi at my wedding for my grandma. And only my grandma.
Yeah. 2
liters.
Did your grandma do the peanuts in it?
Not that I know of.
My grandma did RC glass bottle peanuts in it.
That is interesting.
And
why?
it's like, it's all, oh, I guess you wouldn't even know about this, but like a lot of people back then, you put like a bag of salted peanuts into and you drink it. And it gave it a little bit of salty taste, and then it was so good. And then at the end, like they'd be like caramelized kind of at the bottom, so you'd eat your peanuts. It was like a lunch.
How the fuck do you get it out of the glass bottle? You know those.
You just dump it over, but like that'd be your lunch. You'd have that for lunch, and you'd smoke like a pack of cigarettes, and then you go back in.
That's why they were skinny as fuck, and that's why there was no obesity going on.
Exactly.
So Lucille marries Alfred Steele, president of Pepsi, and he again was big time the shit. And he also took the role as father figure amongst all the children, all 4 children. She began working for her husband and traveled extensively on behalf of Pepsi. And I think it said that she traveled in 1 year like over 100,000 miles.
Holy shit.
Which in the 50s is a lot of fucking distance to cover.
I know we talk about this all the time that we don't know.
But like, where did they go? How?
Were you flying?
Like, you had to be in a plane.
Were you on a train?
You can't drive 100,000 miles.
Yeah, she had to have been. I mean, we know that
trains
and I guess planes were new. Commercial flights were like bigger.
Yeah. But during all of this time, all of the marriages, all of the children, even working for her latest husband through Pepsi, Lucille was working herself. She was a rising star, becoming the next big thing in what seemed like a blink of an eye, all from the connections that she made with her first husband's family.
We love iconic queen.
She fucking networked.
She did.
She was landing role after role in movie after movie. An MGM screenwriter named Frederica Segura Mass recalled, quote, "No one decided to make Joan Crawford a star. Joanne Crawford became a star because Joan Crawford decided to become a star."
Iconic.
And that's how it went. Although she didn't like her name, so she decided to go with a stage name. The initial choice was Joan Arden, but after another actress was found to have prior claim to that name, the alternative surname of Crawford became the choice. So she later said that she wanted her first name to be pronounced Joanne, and that she hated the name Crawford because it sounded like crawfish, but also admitted that she liked the security that went with the name. Like, no one would pick that.
Yeah.
From her.
Yeah.
So she is Joanne, although I keep calling her Joan, is Joanne, or that's what she preferred, Crawford.
Right.
But the world knows her as Joan.
Yeah, that's...
You should have put
I'm sure
E
that
at the end, babe.
I'm sure that they... maybe we're like, we'll just let people interpret and we'll see, because most of the time a production company would kind of assign it to you,
right? Yeah, she got to pick it, which is pretty cool.
Well, you'd still get to pick which one you wanted, but they would assign you like a couple.
Yeah, everyone wanted to be her. They envied her artistic ability, her talent, her looks. She lived and had a great successful career in the Hollywood industry until her daughter followed in her footsteps and released the memoir Mommy Dearest in 1978 after Lucille/Joanne's death. Joanne Crawford had a heart attack on May 10th, 1977, and died in her apartment in Lenox Hill, New York City. Her age was reported as 69, but again, no one really knew.
She's iconic.
She's like, fuck
iconic.
You guys, I'm 30
Yeah,
every day.
I'm fucking 30 every day.
I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, wow.
Joanne Crawford's New York Times obituary stated that, quote, "Miss Crawford was a quintessential superstar, an epitome of timeless glamour who personified for decades the dreams and disappointments of American women."
Wow.
She's a fucking...
That gave me chills.
Yeah, that was dope. Love that. But on October 2nd, 1978, a year after her mother's death, Christina Crawford published a memoir titled Mommy Dearest. Christina was the eldest of the adopted children. And in this autobiography, which would later turn into this big film that I feel like everyone knows about, Christina revealed that her mother was far from a generous and caring motherly figure. Instead, she was an alcoholic who physically and emotionally abused all of her adopted children, stating that her mother was a sadistic abuser. Christina described how she and Christopher, which this is where I'm confused, because Christopher, to me, is the baby that was given back.
Yeah.
But Christina is saying that she and Christopher bore the brunt of the abuse. So I don't know how long Christopher was with them before the junior boy, Robert, or maybe they called him Christopher.
Well, maybe
because Christina was there first, and if they adopted him,
well, let's think about how long it would have taken for back then.
So it might have been a couple years.
It could have been a couple years before the birth mother realized and started giving hell.
Right. So Christina said that she and Christopher bore the brunt of the abuse, and that Christopher was strapped down into his bed with a harness each night so that he couldn't get up. He couldn't go to the bathroom. He was locked in his room until they came and let him out the following morning.
Oh, God.
She recalled how her mom would go into this blind rage after discovering a forbidden wire hanger in her daughter's closet one night.
What?
And this is, I don't get why this is. I don't know if it's like a traumatic from like a abortion or why this was so triggering to Joan, but this is like one of the scenes that is like monumental in the movie Mommy Dearest. She says that her mom ripped the clothes off all of the hangers, flung them all onto the floor, then grabbed Christina by the hair. She said with one hand she pulled her by the hair, with the other she was cuffing her ears until they rang, which I don't know what that means.
Like squeezing on her ears?
Like squeezing on her head, all the while screaming, no wire hangers. Like she was not allowed to have them.
It sounds like they're like a trigger for her.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was thinking. Before proceeding to destroy part of the room, and then would order Christina to clean up her mess.
What? This just like, this is shocking because it doesn't even...
Right. Doesn't even sound like her.
Yeah.
That we know of.
I mean, obviously
Joan
we didn't
Crawford
know
that
her.
we saw through film,
but like a bomb
movies.
ass bitch that like worked and made her name and like did all of this and like adopted children and wanted children and fought to have children. Like,
yeah, I know. It doesn't make sense to me either. The autobiography was an immediate bestseller, and then whenever it was turned into a movie, that saying "no more wire hangers" was like a staple in pop culture. Like it's a phrase that if you search it on a GIF, I'm sure it would come up.
I mean, it's been used in many pro-choice like rallies and what's the word I'm looking for? Like not foundations, but
protests,
campaigns and stuff. Like we've no more. Yeah.
The book and the film was so popular that the stories of Joan Crawford's cruelty were accepted by the public as fact without being fact checked.
Oh God.
Many of the people closest to her were quick to jump to her defense, including her two twin daughters, Kathy Crawford and Cynthia Crawford, who denounced their sister's book, denying any abuse from their mother. Cindy told the reporters in 1979, so a year after it was released, "I can't understand how people believe this stupid stuff that Tina has written."
Whoa.
Yeah. For the judge.
Whoa.
And then on July 20th, 1998, so about 20 years later, Kathy filed a lawsuit against Christina for defamation of character, because once the twins came out and they were like, this didn't happen, you're lying. Now, granted, this could have happened before they were even in the family.
Yeah.
Before,
and I don't want to like
born.
discount any experience that she had.
Right, exactly.
If there was something. And look, that wire hanger could have been a trigger and it just... she flew off the fucking handle, you know, and maybe that is one thing.
Because clearly she could not have kids on her own,
and
which is why she was adopting.
Was dealing with a lot of shit, and she's stressed. She's literally fucking...
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know where to stand on this.
I don't want to defend her, but I don't want to discount Christina's experience.
Yeah. But Kathy said, so while Kathy and... so there's so many C's.
Yeah.
Christina, Kathy, and Cindy. So Kathy and Cindy... when they came forward, Christina kind of retaliated and publicly claimed to these people in interviews that Kathy and her twin sister Cynthia are not biological sisters and that their adoption was never legal. So what they're like trying to discredit them and like say that like they weren't Joanne's daughters. And so they filed a lawsuit in 98 for defamation of character. Kathy stated that neither claim by Christina was true and actually attached copies of the twins' girls' birth certificates and the adoption documentation to the lawsuit. And then the lawsuit was settled out of court and they won defamation for like $5,000 plus court costs that Christina had to pay. Later in 2008, Kathy told a biographer named Charlotte Chandler, what is up with the C's? Charlotte Chandler in 2008, quote, "I don't know where Christina got her ideas. Our mommy was the best mother anyone ever had."
Oh.
Whether it's true or not, we will never know, but it has left a legacy of Joan Crawford as this evil human being, this monster rather than a successful movie star. And it puts me in that's all I have, but it puts me in a really hard place to like, you know, because we don't want to discredit anyone, but like also like she works so hard for her name and that is her image. And if this isn't true, then that's sad. But if it is true, then it's deserved. So like, but no one knows.
But no one knows. Yeah. So. Wow. I mean, has Christopher ever come forward?
I don't think Christopher's ever come forward, but I do know that like she would like claim these like not mortal enemies, but like biggest rivals, like in the movie space, like the film space, other actors. And even her biggest rivals would come forward and be like, I was around the family a lot, I didn't see anything, like I just don't, you know. So she had a lot of people coming to her defense, and it was really only Christina, right? Yes, there's so many C's. Tina that was claiming this.
I mean, that is devastating.
Yeah, because even today, I told you, I said, oh, I'm doing Joan Crawford. You're like, oh my God, wasn't she terrible? Like,
yeah, literally.
I was like, well, it might not be true. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that's her legacy now.
Yeah, mommy dearest.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Sad. That's like a worst nightmare. Okay, the last case I have is the mysterious death of Thelma Todd. Thelma Alice Todd was born on July 29th, 1906 in Lawrence, Massachusetts to John Shaw Todd and Alice Elizabeth Edwards. She had one older brother named William, who some reports say passed away in an accident just 4 years after her birth. However, I could not find much on him. Thelma was known to be a very good student in school and growing up. She was described as being incredibly intelligent, gorgeous, with a bright personality. After graduating from high school in 1923, Thelma enrolled in the Lowell Normal School. Now the University of Massachusetts, Lowell, however you guys want to say it, with dreams of becoming a school teacher. But to support herself while in school, she began working as a model and competing in beauty pageants starting in her late teen years. By 1925, Thelma was crowned not only Miss Lawrence, but the 1925 Miss Massachusetts. And it was through these titles that Thelma caught the attention of a very successful Hollywood talent scout. She was then offered a place at the Paramount Players School in New York City, where Paramount Studios would train their up-and-coming actors in everything from acting itself to manners, media training, athletics, diction, and so much more. Because you have to remember, back then you'd have to learn how to do, well, this was in the silent era, but like if you were interviewed, you had to have a transatlantic accent because it was like the best thing that microphones could pick up.
What does that sound like?
You know exactly what
like the broadcasters.
Yeah, the old broadcasters. And that's because it was the easiest to pick up on mics, because mics weren't dynamic like they are now. Imagine my voice in one of those old motherfucking mics.
Imagine mine. Oh, like, yeah, she's not high.
Yeah, she's not even speaking.
Is she whispering like the girl
Is she
from
whispering
Pitch
right now?
Perfect?
Happily, Thelma accepted dropping out of college and becoming a part of the 16-member Paramount School class. And of those 16 peers, only Thelma and Charles or Buddy Rogers would be the ones that made it to Hollywood. By 1929, Thelma was signed with Hal Roach Studios, or as it is famously known, the Laugh Factory of the world, securing her spot as one of the world's most famous and talented comedic actresses. One of the most influential things Thelma Todd did during her career was harshly reject the dumb blonde stereotype in every single thing that she did, as she almost always played a very independent woman who was incredibly intelligent, capable, and still all the things that made the audiences gush over her, which was incredibly rare in Hollywood at that time. And it definitely wasn't something that she kept to herself, with one of her most famous quotes being, "Building on beauty seems to me the worst thing any girl could do." Not to mention her very public avoidance of casting couches, which is, for those of you who don't know, referring to the couch in a Hollywood executive's office where many aspiring female actresses would essentially be forced to perform sexual acts on that couch in order to get the roles that they wanted.
Fucking sickening.
Fucking gross. Disgusting. However, though Thelma Todd was able to stay strong in these ways while making it big in Hollywood, that didn't mean that she was fully safe from all of the negativity and the hate. One example of this being in one of her earliest contracts, the production company listed her weight being at 122 pounds at the time of executing the copy, with a clause that stated that if she were to gain more than 3 pounds or lose more than 6 pounds during the course of her contract, they could terminate willingly at any time, effective immediately.
Can you imagine the stress? You are a female, you get a period, you can gain more than 3 pounds.
Could you imagine if a fucking network did that to us?
I would have been like, okay, well, are you going to pay for the Ozempic?
Or like, what are you going to do?
What do you want us to do? Because women cannot manage weight like that.
No, women gain and fluctuate 5 to 10 pounds every month.
With your period. Yeah.
And because our bodies are just like that, and it's okay. Like, fuck off. Leave them alone.
It's fucked up.
This resulted in Thelma Todd struggling with an addiction to diet pills starting very early on in her career. Now going back to more of her personal life, though, in 1932, she married well-known Hollywood agent, producer, and sometimes actor Pat DiCicco. Yeah, Pat DiCicco. But their marriage only lasted 2 years, with Thelma filing for divorce against him in 1934 on the grounds of, quote, grievous mental and physical suffering. Oof. Grievous.
2 of my divorces were grievous.
Grievous. Yeah.
What's that word about?
It just means like
Must have been
absolutely can't handle it.
Must have been some
Grievous. Like that must be like the fucking grievous. Like
yeah.
Now many people and former partners of Pat's saw this coming because he was very well known to have ties with the very well known mobster Lucky Luciano, who I would love to cover very soon because holy fuck, I don't even know where I would begin to give you just a little pat down of his life. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we're going to come back to him here in the future.
I don't know who that is, so that's exciting.
Oh, a lot. There's so much. But outside of being a very well-known and loved starlet in Hollywood, Thelma Todd was a motherfucking businesswoman. She opened her very own restaurant in August of 1934 called Thelma Todd's Sidewalk Cafe, located directly on the Pacific Coast Highway in LA in a 3-story building.
Did we eat there?
No, we didn't, but we need to. I don't think it's open anymore, but we need to go buy it. But anyways, Thelma Todd opened up this restaurant in partnership with the married couple at the time, Joan Crawford, an actress, very well known, and then Roland West, producer executive, also very well known. And this is where shit gets a little sketch because it was public knowledge that Thelma and Roland had been having an on-again, off-again affair for like 3+ years. I know that it was pretty well known, and I know that Joan Carmen knew of it, but she didn't care.
Okay.
Yeah. She was more business-minded with her marriage, if that makes sense, than like lovey with it. And the restaurant was located on the first floor of the building, and on the second floor of the building, Thelma Todd had an ocean view apartment that was adjoined to Roland West's ocean view apartment through a sliding door in a shared drawing room. And then there was a nightclub, I believe either on the other side of the second floor, called Joya after Joel Carmen. Roland West opened it for her, but I know for sure that the third floor was like a ballroom, so it might have been up there, and it was like in a really weird like hexagon shape, so but like very private, and so people liked it a lot, and it became like a very high-end Hollywood spot to visit and wine and dine at, because then they could go upstairs to the nightclub and then go have like private meetings and shit. And this worked out perfectly for the very odd love triangle of these owners for 2 main reasons. Number one, Joan Carmen and Roland West's main and very large like mansion home was located just 500 yards away from the cafe, like up a hill. You know how those canyons look over there, up the hill. And so they had like stairs and like a little walkway. And then number two, because of who Thelma Todd was, like having her apartment above her business was iconic and right beside her lover, because she was known as a quote fun-loving party girl who was well known and extremely popular in the LA social circuit and known for ordering her signature drink every time she was out, which was 3 fingers of fucking rye, which is like, ma'am, fucking gasoline.
Yeah.
That's
the Everclear down the throat.
Yeah. Damn. But all of that to say, her business, her apartment, her nightclub, her secret lover, like all of this was in walking distance of her, and it was perfect and exactly like what she wanted. She could work and have fun and do whatever she wanted.
Is her middle name Louise?
Thelma Todd. I don't know.
Wait, like where?
Alice is her middle name.
Okay. Thelma Louise is something else.
Thelma Louise is you're thinking of Thelma and Louise.
I am.
Yeah. So on Saturday, December 14th, 1935, 29-year-old Thelma Todd attended a party that was thrown in her honor at a very popular nightclub called Cafe Trocadero, and everyone had an amazing time drinking, eating hors d'oeuvres, eating dinner, chatting, dancing the night away, with Thelma inviting some of her friends to the cafe for what felt like the 100th time that she saw there. And she basically made a bet out of it, and she was like, if if you actually show up tomorrow at my restaurant, even though it's been open for like fucking ever at this point, and you still haven't come, I will literally give it to you for free. And they were like, bet, like shook on, they're like, we'll be there. And she's like, I fucking bet you won't, but okay. So they're having a good time. And somehow, some way after this conversation, she bumps into her fucking ex, Pat, and they had a quote unquote unpleasant exchange. But her best friend that she was with and like was by her side all night said that after that she was Gucci because she didn't give a flying fuck about him. So she was just like, I told him, yeah, moving on.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. And then at 1:50 a.m., Thelma asked famous theater manager Sid Grauman to call Roland West, her lover, and let him know that she was about to head home, which Sid did. This was because Roland West had asked that Thelma be home prior to 2 a.m. that evening, and no one is sure why. And I couldn't find it anywhere. Now, despite having said call Roland and her starting to say her goodbyes, she didn't leave the party until 3:15. So Thelma Todd is me and I am her. After which she had her personal driver, Ernest Peters, drop her off at her restaurant / Ocean View apartment between 3:15 and 4:20 a.m., which it's not like it was that far of a drive. I don't know why the discrepancy is there, but that's the only one I could find. Either way, the next day, Sunday, those friends that Thelma had made that bet with, like, I bet you're going to not come, but if you do, I'll give you a free meal. They did show up at the Sidewalk Cafe for their free dinners, which they enjoyed. However, Thelma was nowhere to be found. Everyone honestly assumed that she was maybe taking the day to recover because they had drank so much and partied so hard that night, so they weren't thinking much of it, you know? She's just having a self-care day. Well, the next day, Monday, December 16th, Thelma's housemaid named May Whitehead arrives for work. And as she did every day at the beginning of the day, she would get dropped off at Jewel Carmen and Roland West's home because they had a 3-car garage up there, and Thelma would keep her car there in one of those many, I don't know if it was a 3-car garage, I think he had many garages. There was many garages. So she would park her car there. And May would first go clean the car, make sure the tank of gas was full, and then she would drive it down to the Sidewalk Cafe and park it in Thelma's spot.
It's a heck of a housemaid.
I know, right? Like, clean my car, pull it down there. Like, Jesus Christ.
More like personal assistant.
Yeah. So she does all of the, you know, she goes up there, she gets dropped off up there, and she would go, you know, park it down there and have it ready for Thelma for the day. Well, she gets dropped off, and oh wait, by the way, it was a stunning chocolate colored 1934 Lincoln Phaeton convertible.
Oh, I already know it was hot.
Stunning though. It was stunning.
They don't make brown cars anymore.
Barely. My like dream car would be a brown like G-Wagon if G-Wagons weren't such pieces of shit sitting
without cup holders.
Yeah.
Shitty cup holders.
Yeah. A fucking chocolate brown Defender, like not the new Defenders, an old Defender, me in it. Fucking.
Yes.
My God.
They do like tan, but they don't do brown.
No, I would love a chocolate brown car. That's like my dream car would be a chocolate brown.
Chocolate brown.
Chocolate. Another side note. Thelma Todd was a big car girly. She was obsessed with cars and like handpicked this car. Like, so this is like the love of her life car. That's probably why she had poor Miss May going up there and doing all that in the morning. Okay. So May gets dropped off. And she opens up the garage. She walks up to the driver's side door of the car. And inside is the lifeless body of Thelma Todd, slumped over the steering wheel with a broken nose and 2 cracked ribs. She was still in her mauve and silver evening gown that she had worn to the party 2 nights prior, so Saturday night, with her mink coat and several pieces of expensive jewelry still on her. Very quickly, Thelma Todd's cause of death was determined to be carbon monoxide poisoning, and her time of death was ruled to be 5 a.m. by Dr. A.F. Wagner, who I believe was like the main coroner for LA County at the time. This would have been just like within 30-ish minutes at the latest time. Remember that like time frame was like 4:20 that she could have been dropped off at the latest. It would have meant that it was just not long after she was dropped off by her driver in the early morning hours of Sunday.
So carbon monoxide poisoning with cracked ribs and a broken nose.
Exactly. And the main theory, okay, trigger warning, but the main theory surrounding her death, which was actually first proposed by Roland West himself, being that Thelma had returned home later than expected from the party, and because of this, she was locked out of the building where she lived and her restaurant was. So to escape the cold, because remember, it was a cold ass December night, she walks the 500 yards up the hill to Roland West and Joel Carmen's house, and then somehow managed to get into their garage, shut the door, get into her car, start it for some warmth, and then possibly fell asleep before turning the car off, which then killed her.
Oh. Ribs are still cracked, nose is still broke.
Exactly. And when this was questioned by the New York Times, Dr. Wagner, the man who did her autopsy, told them in an interview, quote, "The autopsy showed monoxide poisoning to the extent of 70% of total saturation in her blood."
Wow.
There may have been other contributing causes, but that definitely was the major factor, end quote. Bitch, what? Okay,
right,
I get what you're saying.
That's ruling it to me as accidental death, suicide.
But yeah, this doesn't explain the broken nose and the cracked ribs. Like, okay, yeah, was her cause of death like the reason why she died because of the 70% of fucking monoxide in her blood? Yes.
Right. What about the rest?
Her shoes were not scuffed on the soles at all, which they 1000% would have been if she would have had to hike up that 50...
After partying all night.
Yeah, after partying all night, drunk. She'd been drinking. That, 500 yards up a fucking...
Uphill.
You know what those look like.
Yeah.
We drove through them. There's no way that there wouldn't have been a single scuff on her shoe.
Right.
And her feet weren't dirty as if she took them off and then put them back on. Also, her clothes, her long evening gown, and her her mink coat, totally fine. Not dust on it, nothing. Her hair was in perfect condition. It was not windswept. It was not sweaty. It did not look like out of whack. Nothing. And Thelma Todd was, like I said, a car girly and well aware of the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. So many people believe that she never in a million years would have actually started the car with a shut garage.
Right.
At all. She never would have made that careless mistake. Even Roland West himself was actually really confused because this was not the first time that Thelma had accidentally gotten locked out, and she knew better that she could have woken him up because she had done it before. She threw a fucking rock through his window the last time, and then the other time she like went and banged on the side of the wall and it woke him up, and then he came down and unlocked it. But here's the thing. There was a major issue that investigators ran into with this theory and even the autopsy findings, because one of Thelma's best friends actually spoke to her Sunday evening at 4 p.m., aka and or
after the time of death,
12 hours after Dr. A.F. Wagner said that she would have died.
What the fuck?
So this friend was named Miss Martha Ford, and she was hosting a party at her house in Laurel Canyon when she got this 4 p.m. call from her sweet friend, long-term friend, Thelma Todd. Thelma told Martha that she was on her way to her party. She was sorry that she was late, and she had a, quote, surprise guest with her. And then she asked if Martha minded because she was wearing her clothes from the night before. She was wearing that silver and mauve evening gown, mink coat with all her jewelry, and she had redone her hair. And Martha was like, I don't mind, no big deal, just come over. But she never arrived. Obviously, the first thing investigators asked Martha was like, okay, are you positive this was Thelma? Like, do you think someone else could have been calling you? And she was so offended and immediately responded to them saying, quote, I am positive beyond all question. That was my long-term friend Thelma on the phone with me that night.
Yeah, that's
imagine,
like someone.
Yeah.
Me. I'd be like, no, I would know if that wasn't Taylor.
Yeah, that you would be
100%.
Like 100% that was not Taylor, or you'd be like,
no, that was Taylor.
I listen to Taylor's voice every single fucking day.
Right.
I know Taylor's voice. Like, fuck off.
Yeah. How dare you?
How dare you? And this harsh change in the timeline of Thelma's last known movements was only then supported by an unexplained finding within her autopsy, which was that she had recently, prior to her death, like within hours before her death, consumed peas and carrots. Well, when they pulled the menu from the party that night, no peas nor carrots were served. And her driver was like, yeah, I didn't take her to get any food. She just went straight home. So then if she was locked out of the house, how did she get peas and carrots?
Somewhere.
Right. Even more so than both of these two really big pieces of evidence pointing that something very off and suspicious was surrounding her death. Guess what investigators found in her purse? The key to
Her
the
house.
building. She wasn't locked out. She
Oh
had
my
the key in her purse. And immediately, you and I are like, okay, yeah, so then she was 100% murdered, right? Like,
For sure.
yeah, it make sense. But instead of making it make sense, like me and you would do naturally, the next thing that investigators thought was, oh, well, damn, she must have just committed suicide.
I knew that was coming.
The reason that this theory was even proposed in the first place was mainly based off of the account of her driver, who said that during Thelma's ride home after the party, she was, quote, quieter than normal and didn't ask him to escort her to her door as she normally did. So this led people to wonder if she was planning on taking her life that night. And because of her knowledge of cars and her love for her car, she chose to do it that way. But still, this does not explain
The timeline's
her
all
nose
fucked up.
and her ribs and the timeline.
Yeah.
Then how would she
I
talk on
forgot
the
about
phone?
the nose and ribs.
Yeah, her nose is broken. Her ribs are broken. She has the key with her. And her best friend talked to her at 4 p.m. on Sunday. And they're
Right.
saying that she died at 5 a.m. Sunday morning. So make that make sense.
Yeah. Fucked up.
So pretty quickly, this theory was kind of pushed to the side so they could look into why someone might have wanted Thelma Todd dead. And right off the bat, they could mark robbery off the list because she was wearing
All of her jewelry.
all of her jewelry and everything was still in her purse. Like nothing was taken from her. She had a mink coat on.
Right.
So who would want Thelma Todd dead? There's 4 main suspects. Number 1, her ex-husband, Pat,
Who she ran into.
who she ran into that night. Maybe something happened. He met her at the house, did something to her, but still doesn't explain the 4 p.m. phone call. The next is Lucky Luciano, who was the mob boss that her ex, Pat, worked for and had strong ties to. And the reason why people wonder, it actually has nothing to do with Pat, but people think that he might have killed her because you remember how I was telling you about that 3rd floor where it's like a weird hexagon shape and they had like a dance floor up there. Lucky wanted her to sell that to him so that he could put a casino type vibe up there and only let it be like high-rise clients. But she was like, I don't want to be fucking around you. Like,
at all.
I have nothing to do with you. I don't want anything to do with you. I want you and my ex the fuck out of my life. So go.
Right.
And many people wonder if someone had like infiltrated from the mob and was going to be the special guest, and then she was killed. They drove her back because she might have been in her car going to her friend's house and was bringing the friend with her. So they killed her by knocking her unconscious and then placed her body that evening in the car, turned it on, and that's why it was her cause of death. The other 2 are Roland West and Joel Carmen. Joel Carmen was mad at Thelma because she didn't, not because of the affair that she was having with her husband, but instead she was mad because there was like, they had really different opinions on the way that the Sidewalk Cafe should be run and priced and stuff.
And she was all business.
And so people wondered if, but like, they were like, they don't think that she could have knocked her out,
Right.
knocked her out, broke her nose, broke her ribs, put her in the car. It's not impossible, but she, didn't have any signs and she probably would have had like
been a
bruise
fight,
on her. But another for Roland West is that why was he like, you need to be home by 2, and then she wasn't home by 2? Like, did he do something to her? He, who knows?
And it's still ruled a suicide.
And the case remains unsolved to this day, but it's actually not ruled a suicide, instead a quote unquote suspicious accident.
Okay.
And that's the case of
LAPD.
Thelma Todd.
I'm getting real sick of these mofos.
Yeah, they're back then. I mean, up until literally like a few years ago.
Yeah, literally.
Probably still now.
For sure.
Yeah, really.
The mob seems most likely to me.
Yeah,
especially
like something. The way that she was.
The way it was then, if they
Nothing
wanted
stolen.
something, nothing's going to stand in their way from getting that.
The way that she was broken nose, broken ribs, put in her car, turned that on, shut the door, left. That seems like the most reasonable to me. Or Roland West, but like what? Well, here's the thing though. With both Roland and Jewel, guess what they get? The rest of the company.
Yeah.
Wait, I have to tell you the most iconic shit that Thelma Todd did. In her will, she left her ex-husband $1.
No, she didn't. That's hilarious.
Can
you imagine delivering it to him? A check. For
Yeah,
$1.
just a check for one single buck. That's it.
That's iconic.
Iconic as fuck.
To me, like, it feels like she was on the phone. She was going to the party. Someone was in her car in the back seat. They grabbed her hair. They smashed her face off the steering wheel.
Yep.
Broke her nose.
Well, like, who's the
Jumped
special
up
guest?
front. Started attacking her in the stomach, punching her.
Yeah.
Broke her ribs. Left her in the car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Did I need to be an investigator then? I don't know.
I guess because they clearly couldn't think. Like, it's like they had lead poisoning and none of them could fucking think and be like, oh, what the fuck could have possibly happened here? None of which that you just proposed, my guy.
Yeah.
First off, her heels weren't scuffed and her feet weren't dirty. And the bottom of her mink coat that drugged the floor was not covered in dust. So tell me how she's going to walk up there.
Right.
And she had the key. So why the fuck would she would have walked up there in the first place?
She probably put on some. Went home that night.
Or
she
maybe
got
her
out.
driver did it to her.
True.
Because he's like, she was quiet that night. She didn't want me to walk her to the door. I mean, I'm sure he was probably investigated, right? Who knows? Who fucking knows?
Yeah. I think she was probably, my guess is that she went to the party, slept it off, woke up in her clothes late, got a phone call.
Or
She's
maybe
like,
went and slept with someone that night.
well, if you don't mind me coming in my same clothes, because I have no energy to change, but I would be down to come over. Puts on some comfy shoes, walks up the hill, puts on her new heels, gets in the car. Someone's in there.
Yeah. Who knows?
It's crazy. Sad.
Really sad.
All these iconic women and men.
Yeah. Really, really
Icons.
sad. But we, I hope you guys enjoyed. I mean, it's sad. Not enjoyed it.
But I love historical people.
Me too. I like talking about people
like
that people recognize names and like play such a large role in the way that Hollywood operates today. But I'm glad it's over because it's sad.
Yeah, no, it really was.
Yeah, it was really sad.
Expecting a lot of, if you're a Patreon, like James Dean vibes.
It didn't happen.
Which is also sad.
Don't get us wrong. James Dean is really sad, but at least there was a haunted car and Obi-Wan Kenobi being a fucking fortune teller.
Right. Like that. It had that.
Yeah, it had that. You know what? We're gonna shut the fuck up and we're gonna just say happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, bitch.
Thanks,
happy birthday,
guys. I hope you guys have a best birthday for me.
The best Taylor birthday ever.
The best national holiday of Taylor ever. Okay, love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you next week. For creepy accounts, do we have any special request?
Request.
If we give you a request, you got to get that motherfucker in by
like yesterday.
Yeah.
Today.
If you're listening to this on Thursday, you need to have it in tonight.
Let's see. July, United States of America, 4th of July. Eagle, USA.
Can we do scandals? I don't know. Maybe just scare the fuck out of us. I'm so scared though.
Curses, family curses.
Let's just see.
Aliens.
Give us some good creepy accounts. Some good, just like classics. Yeah, let's just go classic, timeless.
And then one day, I want a creepy account to be everybody write in your best conspiracy theory that you haven't ever told anyone.
What if we do that for your birthday next year?
Yep, that's the episode.
Yep, that's what we're doing for Morgan's birthday next year.
Blow my mind.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Iconic. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.